Every day, everywhere you look, you are constantly inundated with logos, colors, and even taglines by companies trying to get your attention.
All of these companies have an identity, a backstory, or a reason why they exist.
Few people actually break down the brand image.
What's their why?
What's their mission?
What do they stand for?
Well, we've connected with entrepreneurs and other interesting people from these companies to share what it is about them and their company
that truly makes them brand worthy.
So let's get to the show!
Hey, what's going on, friends? Welcome to Brand Worthy, powered by Love Local Media Agency. We're super excited to be here today. I don't have my partner in crime, Mr. Mike Mollardino. He is with his family on vacation, but I'm kind of okay with that. I love Mike. He is my boy and one of my best friends and business partners. But this conversation is going to be a special one. I'm here today with a fellow creator, an artist, with one amazing eye, and she has a unique perspective that she's gained through life experience that she is able to utilize her art, that experience to be able to utilize in her art to make it even more realer and authentic for the people that she works with. My friends, you're going to meet Ranka from Ranka Photography, and I promise you're not going to be disappointed to get to know a little bit about her story and what makes her unique as a creator and as an artist and as a photographer. So enough of me talking. Ranka, welcome to Brandworthy.
Thank you so much, Jason. This is amazing. I'm super excited to share bits and pieces of who I am and what I do, and an exciting creative part behind it.
Yeah, I am too, and I'm usually excited going into these, but I feel like there's a connection from an artist to an artist. There's a connection with us that. And I think through that there's going to be a conversation that is going to show who you are as a person, as a creator, and why you love to support people and help people get their memories captured. So I'm really excited about this one. No offense to y'all that done this before, but talking to another artist just sounds like a lot of fun to me. So, Ranka, enough of me talking. I'm done. I want to know a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So first of all, thank you for an amazing intro. That was really special. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's all true.
Thank you. Thank you. From creative to another creative means a lot, of course. So my name is Ranka with Ranka Photography. I am a portrait photographer. I started this business around 7 years ago professionally. I have done this after I turned 40. And I specialize in portraiture, as I said, in a few different genres. So I photograph families. I photograph beauty and fashion for women. I photograph high school seniors, boudoir photography, personal branding for businesses, and headshots. And then, did I mention the family legacy? Yeah. So a little bit of all the genres in the portraiture world.
Yeah, it's. I feel like your eye is unique to those things. So people could get photos anywhere, but what you bring to the table with your creative eye and your process you go through it, I think is really interesting. We'll talk a little bit more about what those look like later, but from getting to know you, I feel the reason you are who you are is because of the journey that you've been on. So can you take us back a little bit to kind of how you really kind of how you got started and kind of where all this came from? I know when we talked to you, you mentioned that you lived in a few different countries before.
Sure.
You worked in the restaurant industry, but give our audience a little bit more about you and some of your history.
So I really believe that all of us who are we today, it's this summary of our journeys and our stories and our experiences through life. So mine was just that I was born and raised in Europe. I was born and raised in former Yugoslavia, and I experienced the war times in the 90s, and then I immigrated into Germany, lived there for 7 years before I applied to immigrate into States. So I was born and raised in one country, moved to another country, learned the language, worked, integrated into that society and that system, and then I moved to the third one without really having any family beside me and my husband. So the journey is kind of interesting because the war kind of abruptly happened, and I didn't have a chance to go to college or to finish my higher education. I started to work really early. I worked in the restaurant industry. I built a lot of knowledge and expertise in that field at that time in hospitality. And then, just kind of life happens, like we immigrated into States without really knowing, are we going to like it or not? Two of us young adults without kids, and just kind of took it one day at a time and continued working in the restaurant industry, which is probably the best thing for any human to experience. It's to work in a restaurant industry
I
at
would
some
agree with
point
that.
of your life.
It'll teach you how to be a better
will
human.
teach you so
'cause
many skills.
You'll see so much.
Yeah, like no other industry. Like you're gonna have to learn how to get along with people, to communicate well front of the house, back of the house, customer skills. So I came at a crossroad at around age of 40 after I had my children. My children were already like 10 and 5. And I came to the crossroad, like either am I going to stay in that industry that I really had a passion for and like the expertise and love and, understanding and all of that. Am I going to open my restaurant or am I going to go into field of the photography? Why I said photography, right? They're completely two different roads. I did photography my whole life, which pretty much it's kind of like a cliche. Most of the people say that who are photographers that they did that. But I never really thought that I can pursue it as a business, as a career. However, I have done photography for all the friends, for my family, my friends, everybody throughout the life, without ever charging anything, of course. It was just like a hobby and a good eye.
Yeah.
Right?
And great practice.
And a good eye.
Yeah.
So, I would photograph these like events or celebrations and, just give them the images and everybody would be like, wow, this is the best images we have ever seen. Like we would, why don't you just start doing something like this? And then, I came across, at the age of 40, I came across this amazing mentor. Her name is Sue Bryce, and she's a master photographer, a very world-renowned photographer. And she actually, when I came across her education and her education platform, something just clicked. Like within those first 2-3 days that I start like emerging into her, mentorship and her teachings, and not just that I loved the way she was, bringing out the photography and the skills of the technicality of the photography, but she also had a platform to teach you how to run it as a business. And
Which is huge, because sometimes as a creator,
yes.
that side of it, but when it comes to running
Yes.
a business, you don't know the first thing about it. So
Yes.
to get both of those skill sets sounds pretty awesome.
Exactly. So
Great
it's
mentor.
it's really like any other change in career, right? You have self-doubts, right? You have self-doubts all the time. Like you don't know if you can do it, if it's for you, what if you make a mistake. I really took it one day at a time. While I still worked in the restaurant industry part-time, I used that opportunity to learn, expand, and build my portfolio as well as my technicality knowledge, learn more about business, about sales, about marketing, and everything else. And then when the time was ready, I was ready, but it took a lot. I took it actually as I took it as a college. I took it as a school. I took it as a growing process. So for me, I took the time like I would take 4 years to finish a college.
Yeah.
So I took 4 years really to kind of put all of the hours into all of the aspects of my business, on all of the aspects of my photography and self-development through that. Because I didn't finish college, I had that stigma inside of me that I'm less than.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to I wanted to get the feeling for myself that, I can do this no matter what. So I
Sure.
signed in for all the free classes in Stanford, in other major schools, to study more about art and art of photography and all of that. So I took my time. I took my sweet time to really hone my craft and to see, in which direction am I going to take this photography business.
I love that. And I feel like college was pushed to us. Like we were close to the same age, but it was very much pushed to us, right? It was a stigma, and I should be sharing some of the same things. I went later back in life to college because I didn't do it right the first time around. What I learned from there, and it sounds like what you learned from there, is you don't necessarily need college, but you need to learn something, and you need to learn a craft. And then if you could hone that craft and you could be really good at that craft and you could give value off of that craft, you don't need schooling. You could learn it in many different ways, especially nowadays where you could do it online or watching YouTube or pay for coaching, those types of things. Like, not all of us, not our kids don't have to go to school. Like, it sounds like you found your true passion and you just dove in and you were like, whatever school you didn't have, but you now you've gotten a master's or a doctorate in photography. Your natural skill set versus what you've learned now put together, like, creates a beautiful business and gives tons of value to people.
That's right. That's absolutely, I agree with you 100%. And I do feel even though if you don't go to college or you opt not to go to college, that's completely fine.
For sure.
In order to progress in life in any area, you still have to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that learning, it's up to you, whatever you decide. And mine was that I wanted to be knowledgeable in Photoshop, in editing. I couldn't move a needle until I was really proficient in that area. So like I wanted to know. Like, I outsourced my editing most of the time, and it took me a while I got comfortable to do that. But I would never outsource my work unless I know exactly what are my standards for my level of work, right, for my art. So I wasn't comfortable until certain time in life that I will outsource. But before that, I wanted to be proficient in that area. The same for lighting, the same for composition, the same for for business, for marketing, for all of the aspect of running the business, for tax purposes, for anything that you need to learn how to open a business and how to run the business. So yeah, I always say funny thing is like only 20% of my business is actually taking photographs. All the other things are 80%. So like only 20% takes. So do I invest into like actually photographing people and editing? Everything else takes all of my time, which is the business running.
Yeah, that makes total sense. When you talk about and tell your story, I think about a quote that has helped me on my journey and that helped me get started when maybe I wasn't quite there, but it was, don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. I hear you say that, and like you work through the chapters, you honed your craft, you've learned it, and then you figure out, well, these are the things I'm going to outsource, these things that I'm going to continue to do, which is, to me, makes for a great leader, but also a great business person too, because you could leverage things, but you could also speak the language of, hey, this needs to be this way, or this needs to be this way. So a question I have for you, we'll kind of dive in to your services here in a moment and some of the cool, unique things that you do. But like, why do you love what you do?
I love what I do because I get to create. I get to create something amazing, something tangible, something timeless. I always say I freeze time for people.
Yeah.
What does that mean? People always resonate with that when I introduce myself at the networking events or anywhere. Like, I say I freeze time for people, and then I pause, and I'm like, so, like, people are, what do you do? So I literally love to say that because it is a fragment in time, frozen, with that one capture, right?
Yes.
That we do freeze the moments, whether it being your expression, a silly face, a connection, a warm connection between the family members, or just the strength in a person, the resilience that I capture. So that's my why. My why is that I get to see the people who they are on the inside, truly, that comes on the outside, and I capture that moment. So, and in that process, I have the opportunity to show back to them how powerful and strong and beautiful they truly are.
Yeah.
Whether it being the great headshot, a personal branding for your business, or any other genre, really.
It's such a beautiful way to look at it, and that's why you're an artist. I think it's a big piece of it. I really love that story, and I love that why. I have similar feelings when it comes to photos and like capturing the moment. I feel the same way with video. You know, and for me, I go back to like why I'm like that. And I remember my grandpa, and he was a wise man, and he would always take pictures, and people would make fun of him because he would go 1, 2, 3, and he would go so slow through these pictures. But we had a large family, and now he's gone, my grandma's gone. Those pictures are still there of our life. And those moments in time are captured, which is really like, it's kind of what all this is about. Life goes quick. When we look back on what life is, it goes really quick. So to capture those moments in time, or to capture a family photo of where you're at with your kids, and knowing that that photo looks really beautiful, but you're as a family, you're kind of probably a hot mess at that time too, because
Sure.
you're doing life, and life is just messy. So, but to go back to that beautiful photo, or to a personal branding one, to capture that moment, I really love. I want to go over all your services, I mean, kind of what you do. I want to ask that question first, but I want to dive into some of the unique things that you do within your business, because I think that's truly what sets you apart. But let's give our audience a little bit a high-level overview of who you support and who you help.
So as being said, the portrait photographer, it's a little bit broad, right? So the portraiture, it's really highlighting a certain genre. So it could be empowering a high school student, just having a beautiful high school senior photo shoot. It could be a mommy and me session, It could be a dancer. It could be a family. It could be beauty and fashion for women. When I say beauty and fashion, that kind of goes into little segments. That could be boudoir. That could be a glamour session. That could be a 40 over 40 that I'm running currently as a campaign. And then personal branding, it's for the businesses, whether you being a small business, established enterprise or entrepreneur, whatever that is. The personal branding, it's a custom-made sessions for that particular brand with their vision, creating a beautiful and cohesive library of images for them. So.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Seeing your art and following you on social media, and obviously now connecting through friendships, your eye is super unique.
Thank you.
Between your eye being unique, and I feel like getting to know you, your eye is unique because it's not about you behind that camera. I feel like your empathetic skills pulls the emotions out, and you get to put it into that camera, which is an art at its own right. The 40 over 40. For women, where did that idea come from?
So the 40 over 40 campaign or movement is it's actually a movement, right? It started on the international base. So it started by another photographer and then kind of spread throughout the world, where people where photographers, especially women photographers, wanted to highlight everyday women who basically don't exist in photographs, right? As a women, we are a caregivers, takers, we have children or our work or our, elderly parents, or simply we are always taking pictures of everybody else and not ourselves. And, that kind of little stigmatized motion, right? That like women are diminishing with age, we kind of absorb that narrative, right? And this kind of movement kind of wants to break that narrative and say, like, you are amazing today, you are enough today. That's what the 40 over 40 is, but like I really want to go just a little bit more deeper in it, what it is, and it's a powerful transformational photo shoot experience for women of 40 and over. So it could be 40s, 50s, 60s to 100 and 100 plus. So the photo shoot, it's like a wardrobe. It's a hair and makeup. It's a pampering experience with wardrobe, hair and makeup, lighting, and everything that includes as a photo shoot. But the purpose of the photo shoot actually is to tell women's stories. It's to give them a safe platform.
Yeah, this is all why we're friends, by the way. Keep going. Okay, cool.
This is like like a safe platform where they can really share their stories of, their life experiences, their lessons, their journey, whatever that might be. It could be, a beautiful journey. It could be hardship. It could be anything. It could be just something that they really needed that moment in life to say, oh my God, I want this for myself. So it's an encouragement for women to step in and kind of allow themselves to feel the worthiness and to feel that they are good enough today to exist, no matter the body size, no matter the skin color, no matter the diversity, the ethnicities. It's really a portrait for everyday women that helps them share their story of wisdom, resilience, beauty, and one photograph at a time.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. It's Humans of New York. I feel like I think we
Yeah,
talked about
we
this
talked
before.
about
They
it, yeah.
they pull out the human aspect and
Yeah.
they write something that you might not know about that person.
Yeah.
But to me, the perspective you get when you look through that type of art or the type of art you do, it's more than just a photo. And especially for that woman. Like for me, my experiences with women over 40 is, for one, they're badasses. But sometimes they don't know it because they're so busy taking care of other people, and everybody's got their own stories and different. But they're like coming into their own, but there's still things that they're working through, and they're looking at their age, they're
Yeah.
looking at that stuff. So to see them being photographed, and for you to be able to pull them out to their like true authentic selves or what they're going after to capture that moment in time, so they can kind of show their own badassness, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Is that
Yes.
kind of a part of it?
Well, it's like, I like to call it a portrait interview, right? Where we really sit before and we share the stories, and I ask the questions and I listen to them very closely. What is their journey? So in that process, we establish a trust and connection and a safe space where they can share. And then with me knowing all of these bits and pieces about that individual, that beautiful woman that she is, then I have a better understanding how I can photograph her. What is her story, and what is she looking to get out of this? Like, what was the feelings that prompted her to do this in the first place? And then I have a clear vision how that photo shoot is going to be. And for every woman, it's a different story.
Yeah.
It's a different wardrobe. It's a different, lighting. It's my creative outlet to kind of embrace these women's stories and the personality to create that. So she really, truly can see herself as most confident, as most beautiful, resilient woman that she is. So it could be 40s, it could be 50s, it could be 80s, 90s. It doesn't really matter. The wisdom is there already, you know, and that's the beauty of it.
I love how you capture their energy in your art. And we actually have some art here in the studio of one of the examples of that you've done.
Yeah.
Cole, can you flip over to that so we can take a look? And then maybe if you could just describe it, you could see it
Sure.
on that camera or that monitor as well.
Perfect. So this is just one of the pieces. It's a piece of wall art actually that is mounted, so it's going to be displayed. I put it on the top. It's like your cover on a magazine, right? Mm-hmm. So when I invite the women to join this transformational photo shoot experience, I invite them with the feeling of being pampered and feeling like a model for a day. I want them to experience full luxury of how you feel and that you are deserving to be on a magazine cover. So this one I created in particular reason for that. Women, and it says women who inspire. So no matter the walk of life, everybody has a story of inspiration. We all learn. I learn with every single one of these ladies. So they are inspiring, and the outcome of this campaign is actually that they share this message down the line with other women. Right? Mm-hmm. They inspired me. They are inspiring, but they also inspire other women to exist in this space, in this platform.
For sure.
So this particular lady, she's an amazing. Her name is Anya. She's 46 and fabulous. And her favorite word, when I asked, "What's your word? What should I put on it?" She said, "Slay." And I thought it's really amazing because the image tells everything, right? She's slaying.
That's slay all
That's
day
slaying.
long.
So it's really like, then I just put a little bit of my wording on it, what the 40 over 40 movement is. It's celebration of, strength and beauty and all of the good things that we all carry within us. And, and I invite them. Time has come for you to exist in photographs for yourself and for your loved ones. So yeah, it's important. It's important movement. It's important journey for us to exist.
I'm going to go back to legacy, and we'll kind of tie into the family stuff that you do too, because I really love that. But to me, that's the legacy. I think we've talked about my wife working with you and collaborating with you, and I look at that and I think of that like if we have that type of photo, like whatever my kids grandkids going to think when they get to see that. They get to see this strong woman that has overcome and that has led her family and all these things. Like you're gonna pull it out in that photo. So
it makes you emotional, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a sense of gratitude though for emotional. It's just like that's why artists create so that we can pull out the realness of life. And I feel like you do that really, really well with all of your art. So the 40 over 40, an awesome campaign, and let's call it a movement. right? Awesome movement that you're helping lead the way here locally in the Chicagoland area. The family stuff and the legacy stuff. You had me crying when we were talking. Talk to me about the family and legacy stuff and why you put it together the way that you do.
So family legacy, it's everything, right? I like to think of this as like immigrating in the States, and me and my husband immigrated without our ancestors, right? We immigrated here, just two of us. And we started our family, and we live here, and we love it, all of that. But look at now this huge, enormous pot of diversity that U.S. is, right? Mm-hmm. People go and search for their ancestors. They search for their bloodlines. They search for meaning. They search for something. What is family legacy? People who don't have it, they search for it. People who do have it, I urge them to preserve it, to exist, yes. and to actually hire a photographer, whoever that might be, whoever listens, wherever they live, hire somebody that can preserve. If your grandparents are alive, if they're alive, get them together, create family legacy for your family, 3 generations, 4 generations.
Yes.
Print those beautiful pieces on the wall as a wall art. That's another thing that I do as well. Like I have these family legacy sessions, and it's usually 3 or 4 generations, and then we gather the grandparents and all the siblings, all their children, and then if they have their own families, they come in as well. I photograph them individually, and then I photograph them as one group shot, and however they like. And then outcome of all of that is actually to print a beautiful piece of wall art. So I specialize in really like working with amazing lab in Italy. So we have these amazing wall art pieces, and they can be, massive sizes. They can be a gallery of few smaller pieces. It could be on your desktop, whatever that is. But that family legacy is everything. One day, I always say, one day you will look for the photographs of your loved ones. What will you find? Do you have, don't wait. Like just get that.
Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Yeah.
Tomorrow is not guaranteed. And I mean, it's sad to say, but yeah, it's not promised to anybody. So like I would want people to take that in consideration, to exist for their loved ones in the photographs.
Yeah, I think legacy is so important in capturing them. I think I got a little bit of what I mentioned with my grandpa before because of that. And I see the importance of legacy. Like I could sit here and I know my grandpa. I know one of my great-grandparents, but I didn't make it to see the other one. So I don't even know his name. And because I didn't see a bunch of pictures. I didn't see that legacy being curated over time. And to me, it's... especially in this digital age that we're in now, print is super important. And digital is important so that you could always make to print. But it's kind of our stewardship. Now that we know this, it's our stewardship to be able to capture legacy and instill it within our families. And there's no better way to be able to do that than with a piece of art of your family. So that is a photo of you that's showing your family where they're at that during that time.
Exactly.
What are you thinking?
So I was thinking, just like I always say, print is forever. Mm-hmm. Like people say diamonds are forever, I say print is forever, because that trumps any other treasure in a family, right? Mm-hmm. The photographs are actually our most possessed treasure, right? Of course, yes, it's money, it's documents.
It's tangible,
it's
you
tangible.
can touch it.
It's like if God forbid something happens, something catastrophic, like or an earthquake, and you can just take few things. What would you take? You would take an album. You would take a piece of
memories.
Memories. Of course, you would take your prized possessions, but that's really right there on the same level. It's your kids, it's your families, it's your grandparents, it's the legacy. So that's legacy. So when I say print is forever, I also am a photographer who will give everything in print unless it's a personal branding and headshots. Personal branding and headshots, it's the only digital form that I give to clients as a product.
It'd just be weird to be sitting with your headshot in the middle of like your living room.
Here's your headshot. Here's your print. Good looking.
I got a visual of that.
Yeah. personal branding and headshots not, but everything else. So if
When you come to my house, I'm gonna have a picture of my headshot just sitting there right where you
yeah,
want.
we can try. We can try to bring a new
that'll not
movement.
happen. That'll not
Maybe new movement. You
Yeah.
may be onto something.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, it's like I love that when I create these beautiful portraits. Okay, then when I create them, then what? Like I'm going to give them all to you on in a digital form. They're going to be stored on a computer, on your phone, on your hard drive. And then what? You're going to, you're going to see a few here and there, but then you're going to forget about them eventually because that's what we all do. We have digital images, but we are not using them as much. The tangible print, it's not comparable to anything else.
Yeah.
I promise you. That's my legacy as a photographer, to actually print my work.
I love it.
To have my work printed so you and any client who comes can enjoy that, can see that, and be reminded on a daily basis what a great, amazing human you are. And why did you do it? And that's a daily reminder on the wall, on your desk.
It gives you perspective, right?
Yeah.
It's perspective of where you're at in that time, and also just that life evolves and that
Yeah.
it changes.
So
But to be
print is-
grateful for that moment, and obviously print is important. I think of people having fires and stuff like that. So if you digital, if you have it too, you could always replace it and you could always keep it on for generations. But
Absolutely.
there is to your point.
There
I
is a
agree with
value
you.
for both of them.
Yeah.
So I also, of course, when I do prints, I also give all the clients as digitals as well.
sure,
So
yeah.
they do both formats. I deliver
Smart, yeah.
both formats always, because we live in a digital world. It's that's unavoidable. So
Yeah, definitely. So we talked about those two lines of work that you do. We're both branding experts in our own right in different ways, but we respect branding and appreciate branding and the authenticity that comes in it. So talk a little bit about that service that you give for local people as well.
Wow, right? The personal branding, it's more important than ever.
It's more important, and it's going to continue to be more
It's going
important.
to continue really, and both of our mediums are very strong and very important in the branding industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you do, it's brilliant, it's amazing, and video is top needed format to brand, right? However, visual representation in a stills is as well is important.
For sure.
And what I always say, it's you honestly. It's understatement of saying it's important and it's of value. We spend enormous amount online. Everything is visual. Everything we see 24/7. Whenever you are on any of the platforms, it's all visual. So the need for that, it's crucial, and a lot of people need a lot of help in this area. So my team and I, we kind of sit down with whoever needs that personal branding session. It's really customized to that particular brand or service or product. So we sit down and we kind of map out all of the aspect of who you are, what do you do, who you want to target. So these sessions are very, very important, and they're also very detailed oriented. So you have the visual representation, but high quality visual representation. We all know that we can take pictures with our phones on a daily basis for social media and small clips. That's amazing. That's what I do as well for my own business. But to have that high quality imagery that can cover a lot of bases for you, for your marketing needs, for your social media, to have a beautiful, updated, modern headshots that you can, utilize for multiple platforms, because LinkedIn is not same as Facebook. Facebook is not same as Instagram. So they're all a little different. So I always tell people this could work for this platform, this could work for this platform, and to create that cohesive library of images that you can use across all of these platforms, any of the marketing needs. And why? Why would you do that? Why? First of all, it's an investment in your business, right? It's a tax returnable investment. And then what are you going to get out of that? I always like to tell that to people. What would you get? You stand out among the crowd. Everybody knows who has invested in that business. So you stand out, you bring the awareness to your business, you build the trustworthiness with the clients and your audience. And return on that investment, it's huge. It's you use that in Canva, you use that in memes, in GIFs, in daily postings, anything. And those images can be you looking at a camera. It can be action shot. It can be you walking. It can be anything really. I photograph from hair salon and beauty salons to the construction. to the solar panels. It can be anything in between. So yeah, it's very important. So I'm really, I cannot believe that some people really, still don't understand the importance of these times that we live in.
More important now than ever.
More
Yeah.
important now than ever.
Especially as business builders or nonprofit leaders, I feel like that are a
Yeah.
big part of our community
Yeah.
that we've connected with. It's a mentor of mine. He was like, I built one business, $1 million business, and it took me 18 years to be able to get there. He was like, when I focused in on my personal brand, I built 5 businesses within a 5-year period.
You see?
Because I focused in on my personal brand. So personal branding is very important. To me, it's more important now than ever, especially as we go into this digital age where we still want to work with humans that we could connect with. So businesses are great, but to be able to work with another
Exactly.
human that you can relate with. So having your personal brand built out where it means something, where it's curated at high level with your cover photos and stuff like that to really represent who you are. And I feel like
Exactly.
your photos do that. Like I go back, they pull out people's energy. I feel like when I go through your Instagram and I'm feeding through it, I'm like, oh, I know her. That's her energy. I could see it and I could feel
Thank
it.
you.
So
Thank you.
you
I
do
always
beautiful
say
work.
my sessions are not the quick sessions. If you look for a quick fix, that's not me.
Yeah.
I want to sit down with you no matter what session you're booking with me, and I want to really go deeper down and kind of find that why are we doing it and what is your why and why are we needing this in this moment in time. So it's an investment up front to invest to get to know that client more.
That's where real work comes in, though.
Whether it be personal branding, what is the most important thing for you? It's like, of course, it's your business, it's your growth, it's your, making money with your business, right? And it's the same thing for your private purposes, your family, your relationships, your beauty and strength and everything else. So yes, it's very important for me to invest that time up front to get to know that person way better. So the images will look, the more we are prepared, the better we're going to have the images looking.
I could 100% respect that process, and I think that's why people should work with you.
Thank you.
And because you get to know their true selves and you help them pull it out, which is a unique gift that not everybody has. If somebody wants to work with you or learn more about you or to support you, how can they do that?
So I am on all social media platforms under Ranka Photography, Instagram, huge, Facebook, LinkedIn. I even have a TikTok, which is also huge. I am not.
Are you dancing yet? Or
I might.
Yeah,
actually,
okay, cool.
In the studio.
All
That's, why not?
We'll have Cole get the
that's
camera ready.
that's
We'll get your
good.
next TikTok
Yes,
video. Let's
yes,
go.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it. And rankaphotography.com. It's my website, and it's pretty much. It's a little bit under construction right now. I'm revamping little things, putting new imagery, but yes, rankaphotography.com and Ranka Photography on all the social.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I follow
Very
you.
simple.
Yeah, I follow you on those platforms. I think mostly on Instagram because I'm there probably the most often. You do great work, and I think people should give you a follow. Ranka, it's been great. And
you.
I hope that you continue to be able to pull people's energy out and create art through it and give them beautiful photos in whatever campaign or thing that you're doing, because you're getting towards the human spirit. It's more than just a photo, and the fact that you could pull that out of people and that you're also helping people steward their legacy just shows the type of person that you are, that you've implemented those types of systems within your businesses and culture within your business of just wanting to pull people's energy out and using your gifts to be able to do it. So, my friends, if you want a photo, if you want to, whether you're a woman over 40, whether you're a family, or whether you're doing personal branding, you're not going to get a better photographer than Ranka. I love many photographers that are out there, and many of our own. Her eye is unique, and the only way to be able to do that and be able to see that, I should say, is by just going to follow her and supporting her on the page. She's a great person, and she does tremendous work led with her heart. So thank you, Ranka.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this. This was amazing.
It's my pleasure. So
Yeah.
this is why we're doing this, to get stories like this out here.
You
So-
get the good stories out of everybody as well. So it's like another creative that just recognized the human spirit and and the growth. And I am thankful to you, and I know a lot of people in the community are thankful to you. So thank you, Jason.
I'm grateful for many people as well, and let's keep on creating.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.
Boom.